Bada boom, let's go to in the room. How you doing? Hey, what is going on to my mini sites and all my guys who can act out there? Y'all already know it's your boy Jordan the Don Adorno. And if you did not know, your boy loves art. Okay? I love to draw, I love to paint, I love to make a graphic design, digital design, even sculpting. And so I figured to showcase that alongside with my love for Godzilla, that I show you guys and review with you guys 4 of my first ever customized Godzilla figures. So with all that being said, let's just jump right into the figure review, you guys. So to start things off with my very first custom Godzilla figure, which is what you see here, the NECA Snow Godzilla. Now, Snow Godzilla appeared in an anime movie called Shinkansen Henki Robo Shinkalion, the movie, the marvelous Fast Alpha X that comes from the future. Now, that is indeed the title of the movie in which Snow Godzilla appeared in, and people in the community complain about GMK being a mouthful of a title of a movie. But other than that, we're not talking about how lengthy the title is, we're talking about this actual figure. So yeah, this is my all-time first ever customized Godzilla figure, and for what it's worth, I think I pretty much did a really good job, especially being that this is the first time I'm applying paint to that of a highly in-depth detailed figure. That was one of my biggest fears, was that I was going to apply a lot of more paint than what I should have. So doing a bunch of researches of how, you know, people apply paint onto figures when customizing them, I did tons of researches, and also seeing how other people have made their own personal custom Snow Godzilla figures really gave me the inspiration that I needed to come up with what you guys see right here. What I did to really capture the look and the likeness of the character was just coated the entire figure with just a simple black painting coat, and then I gave it at least 3 layers of dry brushing of white. And overall, one of my favorite parts of actually really capturing a very realistic look to this figure was how I made the dorsal plates, as you can see right there. Overall, you guys, I remember having so much fun having to work on this guy. I remember every time I was working on it, I was getting more and more excited for the final product. Now, that's to not say that I had certain difficulties, and the only sense of difficulties that I had while making this figure was the yellow eyes given to Snow Godzilla. But overall, I think that I did him as clean as I can, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this custom Snow Godzilla. Next up, one of the very first figures I've ever had to sculpt on, which is my custom Showa Godzilla, the 1976 Godzilla. Now, for anybody that originally was with me in the beginning years of when I first originally had my first YouTube channel up, you guys would probably recognize it, as I did previously reviewed it many years back. So as for the newer audiences in this new up and coming YouTube channel, I figured, why don't I distribute it once again and showcase it so I can share with you guys a bit of information of what I did to make this guy. So originally I was aiming for a Meguro Goji custom figure, but realizing that it was taking shape in and of itself, I decided to just make my own original Showa Godzilla, dubbed the 1976 Godzilla. But that does not mean that I haven't looked up Godzilla's other previous Showa incarnation designs. Now, being that this overall base figure was the NECA 1964 Mosugoji figure, I used references from that specific incarnation, as well as Soshingeki Goji, and obviously, as mentioned previously, Meguro Goji. Now, despite that there were multiple bumps down the road, this was an amazing experience having to make this guy. Next up on this list, here we have the 1971 Bandai Creations Battle Damaged Godzilla figure. Now, if you, just like myself, grew up with Godzilla in the early 2000s, and especially when they were honoring the 50th anniversary of the Godzilla franchise, this figure may look extremely familiar to you, because this is indeed the Bandai Creations 1968 Godzilla figure. Now, if you ask me personally, I absolutely love Godzilla vs. Hedorah. It was one of the very few Godzilla movies that I saw consistently growing up, and one of the most memorable moments, despite Godzilla being able to fly in that movie, for me, the most memorable moment was when Hedorah took out Godzilla's eye. Okay, and I am very well aware of that of the Mezco 5 Points toy line, commemorating the 50 years of Godzilla vs. Hedorah, having a Godzilla figure where he actually lost his eye. There was a lot of things that, in my opinion, they were missing with that figure, and that was really capturing the overall war that Godzilla had gone up against with Hedorah. So I added different multiple variants of paint onto this figure, starting off with a coating of black. I even dry brushed it with like a little navy blue, and to overlay it with the dried up smudge and a little bit of blood that I recall seeing in the movie. But overall, absolutely had amazing time making this figure. And last but not least on this list, you guys, here is my custom and the latest custom Godzilla figure that I made of the Playmates Super Godzilla. Now, for those who are not really that all familiar with this specific design of Godzilla, especially to all my new and upcoming Godzilla fans on my channel, let me give you guys a little brief history of this guy's background, alright? So, in the early 90s, Super Nintendo made a Godzilla game called Super Godzilla, and when you reach the end of the game, you actually go up against a new introduced monster within the Godzilla franchise called Bagan, and what Godzilla does to finally defeat the monster and all of his evil intentions, Godzilla powers up to become Super Godzilla. I absolutely love Super Godzilla. I've never played the game, but the overall design of the character is fascinating, and it is the design that inspired Space Godzilla. One of the downfall things about this is that there's no collectible item of this, there's no merchandising of this, so I figured why not make one of my own. Especially with the previous Godzilla figures that I made, I had the amount of experience needed to make this guy into what he is right now. The base figure, if you guys did not notice already, was the original Playmates Burning Godzilla. Obviously I had to apply multiple of amounts of epoxy sculpt onto this to really capture the look of Super Godzilla. Overall, you guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys very, very soon.